Yes, yes, yes. It's the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay. So, what we doing? Hello and welcome, each and everybody, each and every one. We're talking about today, Anthony Joshua, opponent expected to be announced today for Saturday. Let me just show you that straight away. No delay. You know, we like to show receipts over here. Where is it? Where's it hiding? Where's it hiding? Boom. 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 Okay. Can you see that? What's that? The phone's going off. Who's that? Oh, better get it on charge. Okay, I see that. I hear that. Okay, so without delay, let me get the link up in here. We got that to talk about. We got other things to talk about, but wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we got to find out who the opponent is going to be while we're live on the show? Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. What are we calling this one? Is this a wrap-up show? Kind of, I guess. The original wrap-up, tap-up, wrap-up. Well, first things first, let's do the sound check. Do the sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Sound check. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's good. That's good for me. Levels are good. Okay. So what we doing? What we saying? Where we starting? There's a bunch of things to talk about. Whole heap of things. Cocos bag of things. And first and foremost, let's make sure that everything is in order. Make sure that I haven't got too many windows open. What's that one there? Okay, I think we're good. Got a couple of articles to get crack-a-lacking with straight away. So let's get into it. Let's get them organized. Let's get things straight. What's going on over there? Okay. I think we're good. So let's go. Okay. So Anthony Joshua opponent expected to be announced for Saturday. Expected to be announced today for Saturday. I need to get that bigger. Yeah, let's get that bigger so people can see it clearer. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so let's do this. Oh, okay. What we got over here? Damn. They must have some spyware up on this shizzle. I must be aware that there are some BBW lovers up here on the RDCR. I must have been listening to the show. I don't need to call no names. You know who you are. The BBW lovers, of which we have a few. Sound is good. Session is live. Malcolm Marcel up in the building, bright and early. And yeah, so for all you BBW lovers, looks like they've been listening to the show. They know about you. They know about you. So there you go. That's the destination. That's the place to go. And interestingly enough, in comes. Couldn't take it no more. Couldn't hold out no more when he saw the delights.
I hope you're choking there, Raf. At this juncture, I'd like to point out I strictly never play in the snow.
OMG. But you play with the fat mangoes, oh, don't you? Come on now.
Rafi, there's a difference between being thick and curved and being a mumpy. We need our correspondent from the Caribbean for that.
We need our Caribbean correspondent, and we also need the Tone up in here. Tone, where are you?
I have a very strict rule about how much belly fat is allowed.
Yeah, the belly fat's a big thing.
Yeah, if it's protruding over the areas that you're going to be interested in. Whereas if she chooses to store it at the back, then that can be okay.
You're talking about the balcony. You don't like balconies.
I like a balcony in my back room, just not my front room.
You don't like front balconies, John?
No, back balconies only, please.
OMG, no front balconies, please. No front balconies, please. We're British.
Whereas the balcony, you can see the sun from there, right?
Well, there you go. You can rest your Guinness. You can rest your nice pint of Guinness on there. Guinness and black, a bit of Guinness and black. There's 400 calories in it, but never mind. It won't hurt you every now and then. But as BBWs go, I must say I've seen worse.
That's not for me, Raf.
It's not for me either, because that thing there. Say again.
She's one of them unfortunate ones. She's not even got.
Oh dear! I just noticed.
Not even got the top story to make up.
Noticed the top story.
Yeah.
I just noticed the top story.
And then, if you're really unlucky, she's got like a long back as well.
Oh no! Come on! Oh, let's not think of the worst case scenario, please.
No, you get a fat Kermit the Frog, or the Toad, as I like to call it.
You're crushing a lot of people. You're crushing a lot of people's dreams right now. I thought we could just enjoy the BBW.
There's somebody for everybody, bro.
There's somebody for everybody. Let's just imagine that the back is correct. Let's just imagine the back is correct.
With what I'm seeing from the front, I'm finding that picture very hard to imagine. To be honest,
well, let's just imagine that. Let's imagine that. Come on now. Let's just.
You've severely reduced the chances of that.
Well,
I don't play in the snow, but you can't guarantee a good rear balcony even when you're eating chocolate.
Well, there you go. Nothing. Hey, nothing in this life. There are very few things in this life are guaranteed. I'll tell you that much.
Why are we going to take a sort of 95% against chance? I think it's much more likely we're dealing with a sort of fat frog there.
Well, that's the worst case scenario. I'm an optimist. We're going with a good back balcony. We're going with a good back balcony. I'm an optimist.
I'm just not having it at all.
I'm an optimist, damn it. We're going with a good stop crushing dreams.
Got a new sponsor for the show, and hopefully you can get Tone and Conga discount.
Oh, it wasn't just Tone though. Come on, we can't just put it on Tone. I mean, Philip Carl Roberts. Philip Carl Roberts admitted quietly one time, only the one time, that he prefers them chunky.
Look, Hold on.
He said he likes them with fat fingers. He said he likes them with fat fingers and fat toes. So, you know.
What the fuck? What deep voices as well.
He likes them with fat fingers and fat toes. OMG, slanderous statements going on over here on the RCROMG.
There's no Adam's apple when they've got the big fingers.
Oh Lord, no. The neck there. I'm getting a closer look. No, there's no Adam's apple there.
She looks like she is a natural born female. I mean, I will give her that.
Yeah, natural born. Look at them.
I've not really seen much in the way of curves going on there. She's just into, you know.
She's just been chowing down. Come on, she's just been.
This is about fat acceptance. That's not a curvaceous lady.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, if you're gonna have a white version of this sort of thing, curvaceous ladies like Marilyn Monroe or something.
Oh, yeah. Or what's her name? That girl who married that play girl Bunny who married that rich geezer, the old geezer.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean.
And okay. Just for argument's sake, let's pull her up.
Yeah.
Let's pull her up. Just for argument's sake. Let's go.
Yeah. Nicole.
Anna
Nicole
Smith.
She had a curve.
Let's see. HOL. Nicole. Oh, there she is. She comes right up. Where is she? I want the whole body. Just don't want the face. Come on now, please.
And the Barbie twins, Raf. Do you remember them?
Sorry?
Remember the Barbie twins from the 80s?
The Barbie twins?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm familiar.
From the 80s.
I'm not familiar with those Barbie twins. Yeah, don't know them cats. Don't know them gals. The pictures.
There's some white cats going on there.
Yeah, there's hold on. Let's have a look. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring this up. Let's see if we can get a good picture. And then Nicole's open in new tab. Damn, how many tabs am I gonna have open? Lord, that's not even a very good picture. Bear with me, folks. I want to get a full length. I want to try and get her in full length. How far down am I gonna have to scroll? What is this? Is like some damn safe search on or something? What the hell's going on here?
Parental controls on, right?
I must have some damn parental controls up on this thing. I'm not looking for anything too audacious. Just looking for a full length. Oh, let's go on the Nicole Smith full length picture. Full LAG and TH pic. I'm going to spell it out. I'm even spelling out picture, so there can't be any ambiguity. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a little bit better. But even so, they got skinny pics of her. You don't want the skinny pics. You want the curve. Is that her? Damn, she don't look too bad there at all. Is that her? Let's open this one and hope it's not too blurred. It is a bit blurred still. Well, let's get the picture a bit bigger. No, it's not going to cooperate with me, but we'll go with that one. Let's bring down this one and let's show. For the man them. Where are we? Boom. And I don't want anyone to get this misconstrued. That Rafi's playing in the snow all the time. Rafi ain't always playing in the snow. What's going on? You know, Rafi's all terrain. Sometimes it's the snow. Sometimes it's the caramel. And sometimes we go as dark as the sands of Lanzarote. Block. Okay, so nobody.
It's just an open door palace Raphael.
You know, when it comes to if the curves are right and the personality's right, the intellect's right, and the smile's right, and the got some etiquette, know how to act like a lady, and she needs to be a lady, knows to act like a chef in the kitchen, and well, you know the rest. You know the rest. Wizard sleeves. If AJ copies Fury, it might be a Big Daddy or Giant Haystacks. Unfortunately, them cats have perished. Them cats are done and gone. Done and gone. But there you go. Yeah, there we go. We got some curves there for the tone. The Philip Carl Roberts, our Caribbean correspondent. And some of you undercover cats who don't care to admit you're swayed by the pleasing contours,
There's some excellent contours.
Damn straight. Somebody don't like them contours, best go get your testosterone check. Go get your testosterone check if you don't like them contours. That's what I say. But okay, so let's get into this thing. Let's bring down Anna Nicole. Sorry, Ann. But we'll bring you back up later. But in the meantime, let's get into the article. Where are we? Boom. Okay, so the article's up. Let's show the headline, but before we do that, we gotta say that we gotta talk about at least. I think there's some misunderstanding about how many times Dillian Whyte's actually popped dirty. I think there's some misunderstanding. Dillian Whyte, as far as we know it right about now, has not actually popped dirty. We talked about this on Saturday, so it feels a little bit like Groundhog Day, but we're just going to touch on this briefly. Dillian Whyte actually this time has not tested dirty. An adverse finding is not testing dirty. Like I said, we talked about this on Saturday. If you didn't watch that show, you can check it out, but there's no need now because we're kind of touching on some of them points and more right now. Touching on some of them points briefly. Okay, so right now it's an adverse finding. They could come back next week or 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now. So yeah, it looked adverse, but we checked it out and everything. It's nothing to be concerned about. He's got a clean bill of health and he's free to carry on fighting. No problem. Much like the Eubank thing, Conor Benn thing. They've kept him out of the ring for how long? It was partially his fault. He should have just gone ahead and just arranged a meeting with him, but he didn't do that. So that thing is dragged out. But then at the 11th hour, 12th hour, could have been the 13th hour, they've come back and said, yeah, it's an adverse finding, but apparently everything is okay. Yeah, it was adverse, but we can't find anything, any actual specific compound that he shouldn't have been using. So it appears he's okay now. So once again, this could be the same scenario now. Don't really want to hang a man that hasn't been proved guilty. And as of now, it's just an adverse finding. And an adverse finding is not a guilty charge. Just means we don't know. We're not sure. And to be clear, his previous adverse finding, where everybody was asking for the B sample, I don't even think they checked the B sample. It was some kind of contamination. It was ruled by the British Boxing Board of Control that it was some kind of contamination. And He was found not guilty. Of course, by then the damage was done. He lost his mandatory position with the WBC. They put Tyson Fury in as mandatory against Wilder, even though he had an agreement to fight Wilder anyway. So that was some hocus pocus. Was it bogus? You know, and it makes me understand why John Daly think there's some kind of conspiratorial situation going on. It kind of makes you understand. So, you know, we have to get in context. That was not popping dirty the previous time. So, and it is yet to be determined whether it's popped dirty this time. That's going to take more research, more time on the part of the British Boxing Board of Control. And like I said, they could just come back and say, hey, it was adverse, but everything's okay. We checked it out now, no problem. It's got a clean bill of health. It's free to carry on. But of course, by then, the damage is done. And a previous time to that, he was he was banned for 2 years for taking an over-the-counter supplement. It was big at the time in the gyms. It was a pre-workout called Jacked 3D. Everybody was talking about it. Just gave you a buzz, one hell of a buzz. And like I say, it was an over-the-counter supplement. So we got to get this thing in context. I think there was one occasion. So he was banned for 2 years. I think that's the only time he's been banned. That's the only time he's been banned. Your overview, your brief overview on that, John. When was he banned?
There is another ban.
Okay.
But it's not in boxing. I'm not really sure about the details of it. He had an issue in KY.
Right. Kickboxing.
Yeah. But I don't know the ins and outs of it.
Okay. But the only time, okay, so that could have, I don't know if he was banned or whatever, but the only time he's been banned in boxing
is correct.
Is 2 year ban for Jack 3.
And the fact is, the damage from that previous adverse finding, and that's why these things are supposed to be confidential, is because he was completely cleared and exonerated based on tests he'd done either side of the adverse test and the half-life of the substance that was in the adverse test and the levels as well.
Right.
It was a tiny amount of, I think it was actually Debo.
Yeah.
I know it's out there as Debo, but I think it actually was Debo.
Yeah.
And that's got a really long half-life.
Yeah.
The amounts present in the sample were agreed that they wouldn't enhance performance at any level because they were so small. And it would be impossible for him to have ingested it into his body without it showing up in the tests that he'd had written in close succession. He was being tested by multiple bodies, so it was a VADA test he failed, as far as I remember. But he had a UCAD test like 48 hours before that was clear.
That's right.
So it meant it's just unless there's science that we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah.
To our understanding, that's impossible.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's happened with this. However, when you test dirty, they don't announce it as a adverse finding. It's a failed test.
Indeed.
There is a difference.
Indeed.
So I'm going to go back to it because I think it's really pertinent. Zolana Tete on a Queensbury card last year failed the test. There's no adverse finding on his testing. There's a Frank Warren card. The fight went ahead. And Frank Warren's never been put under any scrutiny for that whatsoever. He just said he didn't know. Without any pressure about it. And yet, we've had, 8 or 9 months of Eddie Hearn being hounded about Conor Benn. Only for it to turn out that he's been cleared.
Dang.
We had Frank Warren going on and on and on and on and on about Dillian Whyte's adverse finding.
Yeah.
only to find out that Dillian Whyte had no case to answer. I mean, if he's failed a test and get banned, then that's the end of him in boxing.
Yeah.
But if it's an adverse finding, then it looks more like it's another leak, because these things are supposed to be confidential, so that you can go in front of a panel with your evidence.
Yeah.
And discuss it properly.
For real, for real.
So I'm not saying necessarily that they shouldn't cancel the fight, because there's no time between now and Saturday for him to clear his name.
For real, for real.
So I'm not going to criticise him being withdrawn from the fight, even though I know he's not happy about it.
Yeah.
But there just isn't time logistically, and if you're not going to put your prize asset in terms of making money at that type of risk, or at least you'd be mad to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that Dillian's done anything wrong, but he hasn't got enough time to clear his name before Saturday. So conveniently for a lot of people, another Matchroom pay-per-view that's been scuppered. Like, they haven't actually managed to put one on this year in the UK.
Say that again.
When was the last time Matchroom were able to put a pay-per-view on in the UK?
It's been a while.
The last one's been cancelled.
Yeah. Yeah. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad. And we're not saying Dillian Whyte is innocent, but also we don't have evidence to say that he's guilty.
But normally, Raf, when someone does actually fail a test,
they
don't say there's been an adverse finding. So the last two times there's been an adverse finding announced, it's been Conor Benn, and it was Dillian's last adverse finding. Normally, it just straight fails a test, and it'll come down to the amounts of metabolites in the test. Because if they start saying, "Oh, it's trace amounts," and I'm right, and it's actually corruption, it can't really be followed up, because they just say, "Oh, it was a mistake." You've got no case to answer. You're not banned. We'll just walk away. Oh, sorry.
OMG.
But the problem with that is it's very hard for people to clear the names, because people still believe that Dillian Whyte has failed a test before. He didn't get a ban for it.
Exactly.
He was. There's a UCAD statement on their website exonerating him, but nobody pays any attention to that. And they're more likely to have heard Frank Warren going on about where's the B sample, where's the B sample, where's the B sample. I kept going on about for months.
Damn. How come but he was clear to that. But he was clear to that. How come he never talks about Tyson Fury's Nandrolone ban?
Yeah, I mean, Fury and Huey, both Luke and Huey, were found guilty of having Nandrolone.
Yeah,
talk sport going on and on and on about that.
Wow,
and
that's crazy.
At the same time that the Conor Benn story broke last year is pretty much when we found out that Tete had tested positive and then gone on to knock somebody out in the fight.
Wow, it's crazy, yo.
The Queensbury car.
Shizzle is crazy, yo. The way people talk is like Whyte has been found guilty multiple times. Now he's found guilty one time in kickboxing, but fair enough. That's bad. But then he's only been found guilty of actually failing a PED test. He's only been found guilty one time in boxing. And that was some time ago, and that was a 2-year ban. That was a 2-year ban before most people even heard of him.
And also, Raf, the reason it wasn't a 4-year ban is because UCAD accepted that it wasn't really his fault.
Boom.
Like, the substance had only been banned a matter of, like, it was a bit similar to meldonium.
Yeah.
In that it was a banned substance. As an athlete, he is responsible for what was put into his body. So I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been banned.
Mm.
However, it was one that had only recently been banned, like within a month or two max, and it was sold in an over-the-counter supplement rather than him going off to some shady guy to go and order some peds.
Yeah, it was an over-the-counter supplement. I think that's
Yeah.
key. That's key. That's a key point. Which
The
sometimes
he's got his ban halved. But if he'd taken it intentionally, he would have had a 4-year ban.
For real, for real, for real, for real. I think that sometimes gets overlooked, but we're here on the RDCR to clear up the myths, misunderstandings, and misnomers. I heard that on some kind of American cop show back in the day. Don't even know if it's a real word. OMG. I believe one of our stat checkers to check that misnomer. Heard that on some cop show back in the Dizzy, way back in the Dizzy. Okay. I didn't think discombobulated was a real word, but apparently it is. So who knows? Who knows? Okay, but we press on. We press on. As a matter of fact, hold on one tiny minute. Let me check this while we are live. Let's see if there has been any breaking news about who Anthony Joshua's next opponent is going to be. Let's have a look. This keyboard situation. So we'll see if there's been any breaking news while we've been live. Let's have a look. 11 hours ago, no. We're looking for something within the hour. Anthony Joshua replacement opponent. That was 8 hours ago. OMG. There is no breaking news as of yet. So let's get on into the article without further delay. We got the Wizard sleeves up in here, the Cal L, the Malcolm Marcel, and some who haven't written their names in. But I think, okay, everything's in order. Everything's in order. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so Anthony Joshua opponent expected to be announced today for Saturday. Oh, and while we're here, I just want to extend my thanks to the people who've been hitting on the videos of late. The videos have been doing very well. There was a time when I was beginning to think, is it even worth me doing videos? But if I do a quick look, we've broke the 1,000 mark on the latest video. That was the Zone CEO updates Joshua's situation for August the 12th. And then before that, we did close to a K for Errol Spence to rematch Crawford at 154. As a matter of fact, we haven't even talked about that, but we'll try and fit that one in during the course of the show. And yeah, Terence Crawford stops Errol Spence, did nicely. Plant slaps Charlo at Spence v. Crawford weigh-in. I think I want to mention Charlo in this show. If I remember, we're talking about Jamel Charlo. Errol Spence was very vocal in his calling out of Charlo. Jamel, little Charlo. So definitely want to talk about that. Terence Crawford wants him after Canelo's finished with him. And Jamel is saying he's coming back down to 154. He's coming back down to 154, coming back down to face Crawford. I wish I could believe him, but he said it, so we're gonna hold him to it. When is that Canelo fight? Do you know?
I'm assuming it's the first weekend of September.
Oh yeah, I think I heard it's in September.
Well, it's 2 dates he fights, so sort of around the beginning of May, around the beginning of September, and they're both Mexican holidays, aren't they?
Yeah,
Cinco de Mayo, and I think the September one is Independence.
Okay, let me just have a quick look at Jamel Charlo on BoxRec. Jamel Charlo should bring us up the date. What the hell? Is this Jamel Charlo on BoxRec? He doesn't have a date for his date with Canelo. That's highly unusual. That's strange.
You got the right twin.
Well, it's definitely Jamel, and he's the one. Jamal's the bigger one. But let's go Saul, S-A-U, Saul Canelo. Alvarez. Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Well, this is out of his normal date according to the Court Sport for the 30th of September.
This is bizarre. Because, I do believe I've seen it in September, but it's bizarre that the fight
is... It isn't normally around the 30th, 35. But it's on PBC, isn't it? So maybe they haven't got the money together yet.
Yeah, that's just weird. Yeah, maybe PBC. It's a PBC issue. Maybe they haven't tendered it as official. It's quite bizarre, but yeah, it's normally September. It will be sometime in September or the beginning of August. Or are we close to the middle? Yeah, we're the beginning of August, September. So shouldn't be more than in between 4 weeks and 6 weeks for that fight. But yeah, Jamel says he's coming back down. And if he fights in September, then knowing them PBC guys fight once a year, hopefully they can push it forward with a sense of urgency, and they will fight. So what we're talking September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Hopefully they get on in the first quarter of 2024. Hopefully. But we about to see. Rafi used the big. I told you,
Don't worry, Tom. We can hook you up.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, bro. Don't worry, bro. Just say the word. Just say the word, and we'll get you a discount on the thing there. OMG. OMG. Okay. So, so hopefully they get it on. What do you think Jamel will take that fight? Do you think Jamel will really take that fight? So he's coming back down to 154.
Will he petition to keep his belts with fighting Canelo?
Yeah.
I don't think they have as much say in this as we think they do on the PBC. And what else have they got for Bud now that he's flying high? They've had respectable pay-per-view numbers out of Bud, and isn't he on a free fight deal with them?
Yeah, I think so.
So from that perspective, if you want to make any more money out of Bud, that's the money fight. And really, Bud's got about as much upside as Canelo has if he wins.
Upside.
Yeah, Canelo. Not Canelo. Charlo.
Charlo.
So if win, lose or draw against Canelo, nobody expects him to win that fight.
No, not many. Not many outside of the PB. Not many outside of the LDBC. No.
Maybe his brother and Ronnie Shields. I don't know. But no, he's trained by Derek James, isn't he?
Yeah. He's with Derek James. Jamel is with Derek James.
And anyway, he's got nothing to lose, and it's a massive payday for him. So I understand why he'd take it.
Is it Jamel who's with Derek James, or is it Jamal? Who's
I
with
think
Derek?
I think it's Mal. I can't remember without checking.
Yeah. Which one of
I
them?
don't really take any notice of them anymore because they're both semi-retired.
Yeah. For real. For real.
The middleweight's been out of the ring for 2 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's been out for 2 years, Jamal, the big one.
Yeah. And the
Tone,
little one, since he became undisputed, what's he done?
well, he's been out for 18 months. It'll be 2 years when he's well, it'll be almost 2 years by the time he gets in the ring in September. Tone up in the building. Just you to pull up a web page with the mumps. Hey, Tone, come on, man. I do you a blessing and you want to be like that? Come on, bro.
Well, you know what he says there, Rafi? It's a bit of a giveaway. I mean, presumably that's why Tone's come over.
Listen, whenever I bring up a mumps, it's a bit funny. Whenever I bring up a mumps, next thing you know, 2 minutes later, Tone's up in the building. Come on now. Come on.
His own statement confirms that he's come over looking for it.
Come on, Tone. Listen, show.
Look,
show them big things some love, brother. Come on now.
He's just admitted it there anyway. He's just admitted he's busted, so
Yeah, I mean, come on. There ain't nothing wrong with Mampy love. There ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of Mampy love.
Anti-gravitational devices.
Anti-gravitational device. Come on now. You feel like you're floating. And Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more up in the building. I hope you're doing good, Bruce. I hope you're doing good. Where we at? BBW dating. We're gonna get some sponsorship going, gents. We're gonna get some sponsor. They're gonna be our official sponsor, so we're gonna be getting discounts, at least 15%. At least 15% on our most loyal followers. OMG. There's enough love there to go around. Come on now.
Unfortunately, though, it's all in the wrong places.
Well, you're not going to go over that again, John. Come on. You're not going to try and pour cold water on it again. Come on now.
I could get him bored if it was a bit better shape,
Well, let's just show the leg, the Mampy them some love. Come on now.
That's all right. I don't want to compete with Tone.
Where's our Caribbean correspondent? Why is he laying low? Why is he in the chat? Why is he not saying anything? Come on.
In all fairness,
yeah,
Congo also has a strict no vanilla policy. So,
well, we're not talking about.
If you want to pique a bit of interest,
yeah,
a chocolate Mumpy on there.
Well, I'm not really looking at the skin tone. I'm just looking at the.
Not everybody's as open-minded as you, Raphael.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not. I mean, listen. If you're gonna get factual about it and get serious about it, then obviously the Rafi, he likes it a bit more toned. He likes it a bit more toned. But let's not get too detailed on the team. You know what I'm saying? Let's not get too detailed on the team. Bruce Gas also is an appreciator of the big things. The bigger the cushion, the better the pushing. There we go. Tell him, Bruce. Tell him.
But what I'm trying to say is a marketing strategy, Raf. Pretty certain if that was a more husky lady, we could get Punk to sign up.
Well, I could get some filters on it. I could put some filters on it. If you like it, then you put a filter on it. Where we at? Is there anyone available other than Hergovic to satisfy AJ being a pay-per-view? Well, look, Hergovic is on the card, is he not? He's on the card. And realistically, you have to understand. Well, you have to ask yourself the question: why is this fight happening? Excuse me, guys. I got a bit of a froggy throat. Got a bit of a foggy throat today. So we have to ask ourselves, what is the reason this fight exists? Why is it happening? And the reason is it's a warm-up for Wilder. Nothing less, nothing more. It's a warm-up for a Wilder fight. Also, it serves a purpose of Joshua getting another fight in with his current trainer, Derek James. So you have to understand why this fight's happening. Twofold. Warm-up for Wilder and getting another fighter under his belt with Derek James. I heard it once said, I can't remember who said it, but I heard it once said that it takes around, I think it was a notable trainer, but I can't remember who it was. It's some time ago, some years ago. And this notable trainer said, it takes around 3 fights for a fighter to properly bed in with his new trainer. It takes around 3 fights. And that made sense to me because you're going to have your whole old habits. You're learning new habits in training, but it's going to take some time. You go into a fight, you fall back into the old habits. It's going to take some time till you just truly bed in with the new ways, with the new technique. It takes a little time. So it made sense that he would have a second fight after the Jermaine Franklin fight. He would have a second fight to bed in some more. And then the big fight is the third fight. So it's kind of appropriate. It makes sense that by the third fight, should be really bedded in to the ways of the new trainer. So it makes a lot of sense. So we have to understand why this second fight is taking place. Now, if he wants to go and take on Hrgovic, I have no doubt that he could beat Hrgovic, but you have to exercise some prudence. You have to exercise some prudence. Say, listen, this is a warm-up fight, a bedding in fight, and that is the purpose of the fight. 1 week's notice. You've been training. You've been in a training camp now, big training camp now, working on specific things. It's a mid-level fighter they're looking for, mid-level. So who's it going to be? Well, we don't know. You got any theories on who it's going to be, John?
I'm sticking with Joe Washington. Telegraph have got him and Helenius. Sky have got him and Helenius as the front runners. I don't think you need to do anything extra to prepare for Gerald Washington that you didn't do for Dillian. If you're going to go ahead with the card, I'll put Gerald on there. I think you've got to drop the pay-per-view. It's not a pay-per-view fight with Washington, but you can save the event. Hrgovic, is it really pay-per-view anyway? For me, Hrgovic is just for the aficionados. People that actually know boxing know Hrgovic is a decent fight.
Yeah.
The casuals don't know who he is.
No.
So I don't think that's a pay-per-view either. I just think that's people holding AJ to a higher standard than they hold other people. I.e., Carl, I hate his real frotch.
Yeah.
So he's got to fight Hrgovic. But I don't hear him talking too much about his mate Tyson fighting Derek for a pay-per-view at Wembley.
That was Derek's last fight. It was a pay-per-view at Wembley.
No, it's Fury's last fight as well.
It's Fury's last fight as well.
So the double standard there. Why has he not said Derek's acceptable? Why has Anthony Joshua got to fight Hrgovic? Anthony Joshua is not a champion. Nope. According to people like Carl Froch and most of these other pundits, he's finished. He's washed up. He's not the fighter he was. Yeah. And yet he's expected to take on harder challenges than our WBC champion.
That's bizarre.
So I don't think you can save the pay-per-view. I don't think they should bother to try. I think they get enough of the ephemeral zone subscriptions from an Anthony Joshua fight to not really worry about it. Anyone who's not already got the app will still have to pay £20 to get the app to watch the fight.
No, they can go via Sky. They can go. They can get the PPV direct from Sky.
No, if it's not a pay-per-view.
Oh,
so you don't have a DAZN subscription.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's correct.
£30 for the month.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there'll be a lot of people that will pay that out anyway.
Yeah.
For a Joshua fight, particularly if it's not a pay-per-view.
Yeah, Helenius fought last week. Did he?
Really?
Did he?
He's being put out there as a potential. I've not really known anything that Helenius has done since he got knocked out by Wilder, so I haven't got a clue.
Yeah, somebody in the chat, do a fact check on that. Did Robert Helenius fight last week? Somebody in the chat do a fact check on that and get back to me. As for Helenius, I think some people got it twisted, y'all. Some people got it twisted. Helenius, they're saying maybe Helenius, but they don't realize. Is it the fact that some people don't realize that Gerald Washington knocked out Robert Helenius? Is that what's going on?
It is true, Raf. He fought on the 5th of... Well, he either fought on the 8th of May...
Yeah.
Or the 5th of August, but because it's on BoxRec, that is the 5th of August.
Wow.
So, I mean, he won, and it looks from the name, I can't say it.
Yeah.
It looks like a Finnish name to me, and Robert is Finnish as well. So that looks like a very much low-level domestic fight for him to regain after getting knocked out by Wilder.
Do we know how many rounds?
Looks like it was a 6-rounder. Let's have a look. Either winning the 6th round or it was a 6-round fight.
It was a 6-round fight, and it was a knockout. So
no, it's an 8-round fight, and he knocked him out in the 6th. No, third round. So he's gone 3 rounds. The other guy is Finnish. And I mean, I can't imagine so he doesn't even have time to ranking there.
So once again,
no, he's the 4th best fighter in Finland.
Yeah.
And on the world rankings, he's 426.
So once again, breaking news gets broken on the RDCR. I haven't heard anybody mention the Robert Helenius fought last week. I haven't heard anybody anywhere mention that.
Well, I mean, that does sound like a glorified sparring match to me.
Yeah, I think he'd be ready.
Televised level.
I think he'd be ready. I think he'd be ready for another. I think he'd be ready for a fight. He just had a 3-round. He just had a 3-rounder. But putting that to the side, he got knocked out by. I watched him with my own 2 eyes. I think I probably covered it on the channel. I almost certainly covered it on the channel. I remember watching that and laughing my ass off. I think he was winning, if memory serves me right. Gerald started off well. Then Helenius came back and it looked like he was going to win. And Washington sparked him, knocked him halfway through the ropes. Well, I think it was in the 7th round. It was crazy. It made me laugh because it looked like Helenius was in the ascendancy. Next thing you know, boom, he just gets put halfway. His head was resting on the rope. What made me laugh was not to see someone get knocked out, but just the fact that he appeared to be in the ascendancy, and then things switched around real fast. Like,
he's a bit of a glass cannon, really.
Yeah,
like he's got a big punch. Like he completely sparked Karanaki, didn't he? Completely annihilated him.
He did.
But I mean, Karanaki, only on the PBC could you think that was a realistic. He was like Alan Babich level.
Well, Karanaki was being talked of as as a Deontay Wilder opponent while they left.
Yeah, he was being groomed to be a
He was
Deontay.
being groomed. He was being groomed.
Only because he was cannon fodder.
Yeah.
They were trying to build him up with some real padded records so that when Wilder knocked him out, it looked credible. But he was always a knockout waiting to happen.
Yeah.
And because I don't really think they know anything about boxing at the PBC in terms of matchmaking at all, they miscalculated it, thinking Hellenius was another stiff.
Yeah.
Out a few times, not realizing that actually he can box and he can punch a bit. He just got no chin.
For real.
So that went horribly wrong for him because Karanaki, I don't even think he's got a good punch.
Karanaki ain't really that much of a power puncher.
He's just sort of. Alan Babbage. He's like Alan Babbage. Like,
he's a volume puncher, but he ain't a power puncher. We're talking about Karanaki.
He's a volume puncher with zero defense.
Yeah.
And I think Alan Babbage is also pretty much the same sort of thing. And didn't he get sparked in that?
Yeah, he got sparked out. Yeah, he got sparked out quick.
It was always going to happen because, like, if you're just going to go in there swinging with your chin up in the air,
yeah,
it's going to happen.
Yeah, he got sparked out within a couple of rounds. I think we covered that on the channel. So Reality's voice. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I ain't heard that nowhere else on the interwebs. No other show, none. So that was a good catch. Thanks for bringing it to our attention. Reality's voice, Hergovic, a better fight than Silly Dillian. I don't know about that. Well, absolutely. Hergovic, sorry. Hergovic, yeah.
Hergovic is.
Hergovic. Yeah, I thought he used to be Road to Langis, but no, Hergovic. Yeah. Quite possibly.
But I think it's too good to take on a week's notice.
Yeah, it's too good. Yeah, I think I covered that. It's not the right fight for now. Good fight, but not for right now to week's notice, especially with the purpose of this fight. It's not the ideal fight. Tone says, Grover Washington Jr., I reckon Chisora would give a harder test. Washington, harder test than Washington. Hey, yeah, you're probably right, but it's about public perception. Public perception. You got these guys out there, you got these pundits out there saying, you what? Chisora, Anthony Joshua fighting Chisora. Bear in mind, this is the same Chisora that Luke fought. Luke fought in December or wherever in the winter of last year. That's the same Chisora. That was Chisora's last fight, and that was Luke's last fight. Bear that in mind. So some madness going on out there.
Well, also, what's the point of going in against another short, stout, difficult to knock out opponent?
It makes no sense when he's fighting a 6'7" cat in Wilder.
Whereas Washington is 6'6".
Okay, there we go.
He's not punching down. And I think what Anthony Joshua really needs is a confidence boosting KO.
Well, there we go. So Washington would fit the dimensions needed. Washington has similar dimensions to Wilder and a total warm-up and was beating Wilder on the cards. He was beating Wilder on the cards. I think some cats might have forgotten and some cats never knew. I never watched the fight, but anybody who watched the fight will know that Washington was beating Wilder until Wilder.
I mean, to be honest, it was a bit of a British stoppage as well.
Yeah.
What happened was he put Washington down. Washington got up. He went windmill on him, and the referee stopped it.
Yeah. Stopped.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't really like he departed him from his senses or anything.
Yeah, it was nothing like that. Remember, Washington was stopped. Washington was standing up at the end of that thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, to be honest, he was just throwing a whole load of rabbit illegal punches until the ref stopped it. It wasn't this amazing one-touch power that destroys people. I thought Washington could have carried on, to be honest.
You know, there is that argument. Hellenius fought a Finn in Finland. Confidence builder. It was this weekend. Absolutely more. Holland Soret Aviat. Okay, cool. Thanks for that. Washington looked half decent last night. Washington looked half decent. Oh, that night. Yeah, that night. Yeah. Yeah, that night. Yeah. Which is rare. Absolutely more. Absolutely more.
I'm not sitting here.
Babbitt got Babbitt. That's the tone and the reality's voice says. The windmill missed
I think it means
hair, messed up Washington's hair. So the ref stopped it. Washington, who is as bold as they come. Okay.
But I mean, if you know, no one's trying to say that Washington's a pay-per-view worthy fight. But Dillian isn't really. Only because of his name value. If you look at where he is,
it's enough. Name value is enough, isn't it? That could make
that sells. But I mean, what I'm trying to say in terms of a competitive fight and where they are, Dillian's losses are horrific knockout losses. Joshua got beaten on points by a master technician, and the last one was he actually did better in the second fight. Normally, it's the boxer who improves in the rematch.
Yeah.
And Joshua was actually able to make the second fight closer, which is rare in those circumstances.
That is what happened.
Dillian got completely Sparko by Povetkin and pretty badly KO'd by Fury. It wasn't total. He got up again.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there, was he?
For real.
So Dillian's recent losses have been much more devastating than what Anthony Joshua has lost.
Yeah.
And their victory against a common opponent, whilst AJ had all this criticism for it, which round did Franklin win?
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty much a clean sweep, wasn't it? Nobody sort of at any point said it was a close fight. It
was a pretty dominant performance.
It was an incredibly dominant performance. It was just a bit boring.
Yeah. The technical term, windmilling. Absolutely more. Okay, so we need to get into this thing. I haven't heard any word. We're waiting for the word. Anthony Joshua opponent expected to be announced today for Saturday. We're waiting for the word. I know that Leon Figures was going to jump on, but the Rafi got some things going on. I told him it was going to be 8:44, but I went live about half an hour later. I know he finished work and had his burger and beef burgers, quarter pounders, and pretty sure he fell asleep, probably early start. So sorry about this, Leon, but I know you're going to catch it on the replay. Sorry, I went later than advertised. But anyway, let's get into this. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. Rafi's got some good news that he's bursting to share, but you know, sometimes nothing to do with the channel. It's work related. Looks like some new opportunities, some new horizons might be opening up for the Rafi. A boat which I thought had sailed may not have sailed. So nothing to do with the channel, but it's like I said, work related, and the Rafi is buzzing. But you know, you can't speak about these things before the time, so it'll be a good couple of months before I can speak on it. But good news nonetheless. Absolutely. Well, it looks like it's going to be good news. It looks like an opportunity that I thought had sailed. Might. There's another ship going in the same direction that is currently in the harbor. And Rafi is just looking at the logistics, the paperwork, seeing if he got the paperwork. Seeing if he got the paperwork to facilitate that. It's looking good at the moment, but you know, got to keep it under certain things you got to keep under your hat. Let that develop. Where are we now? August, September, October, November. Yeah, it's going to be a few months before I get absolute confirmation that what appears to be, what looks like it's to be, is actually to be. So I ain't gonna talk about it. I only mentioned it because the Rafi's kind of buzzing a little bit about some good news in that area. Rafi to join TBVO, they love the Rafi over there. They love the Rafi over there. And, that you can be assured. Joshua's second fight with Usyk was excellent. He definitely improved his game. Indeed, he did. Washington on standard zone is the best fight for AJ. Chisora or Hergovic on PV is the best for the zone. Yeah, I think that's a fair appraisal. Eddie postponed announcement till tomorrow morning. Stand by. Okay, I'll definitely look out for that tomorrow around lunchtime. And I get my lunch break. All power to you, Rafi. Thank you, Cal L. Should have some more news on that towards the latter part of the year. These things take time. Contracts need to be reviewed again before the signing. So, that needs time to, certain things need time to marinate. We don't want to over marinate, but we just want to get the marination right. Much appreciation goes to the Gal L. Yep, lunchtime tomorrow. Well, tomorrow morning around lunchtime. If something comes through and checked out the channel around lunchtime, I'll do a little thing. Lunchtime, I'll drop a video. Is the work boxing related? No, nothing sports related. This is strictly career related. But if I get the position that looks like a possibility, it'll be a very proud moment for me. I will share it. A very proud moment. Like I said, I thought that ship had sailed, but I got notification by some people in powers, in positions of influence, lets me know there's another ship currently in the harbor, and they're looking for somebody. It looks like some people of influence say that you'd be perfect for the role, without even knowing that I was interested in the role. So
it sounds like Rafi's landed the new role of James Bond.
I don't know why they're blocking the Rafi with that thing. That's another project. I don't know why they're not showing Rafi the proper love. But hey, sometimes these things take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Sometimes you just gotta let them things marinate. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's get into this article. Anthony Joshua's replacement opponent is expected to be announced today. Make that tomorrow. According to Gareth A. Davis.
What source? Is this Boxing 24, Raf?
Oh, well, I didn't know it was Gareth A. Davis, but we got a better source now. We got it from an in-house source. Malcolm Marcel. Eddie's announcement is coming tomorrow morning. Stand by. That's a far better source. What we're looking at, Adari pennant up in the building. Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Miller. Wow, that would be crazy, yo. That would be crazy, yo. Mampy Gigolo. OMG. You know, the Rafi don't do the front balcony. You know, the Rafi don't do the front balcony. I mean, I'm all for a bit of padding, but that's just too much. Not the front balcony. Not the front balcony. So yeah, so we can pretty much discount that. Names floated for Joshua, Robert Alanius. Oh, they're putting the ages in now. They're putting the ages in now. Robert Alanius, 39 years old. Gerald Washington, 40. How come they ain't put Ajit Kabayel's age in? How come they ain't put
journalism referee?
Yeah, how come they ain't put Derek? Well, Derek Story's up there as well. Dempsey McKean. Well, I covered that in the video. Arslan, my banner back, or whatever you call him, Arslan or whatever his name is. I covered that in the video. I think Arslan. I think of some of the names. I think Arslan, outside of Alanius, outside of Gerald Washington, outside of Chisora, Arslan to me is up there. Will he take it? Has he been in training? Will he take it a week's notice? I don't know, but Arslan's a big chunk of a guy. He's looks like a Russian shot putter. He's got this nervous twitch where his head keeps twitching. Reminds me of that cat. The twitch of that cat from Something Out of Mary's had. Something about Mary. But he ain't got the boils. He ain't got the skin rash. He ain't got the boils. He's just got the twitch, which doesn't seem healthy. But anywho,
I'm not a fan of that, man. Anybody that calls himself the unrapeable one.
Say that again.
He calls himself the unrapeable one, doesn't he?
The unbreakable. Well, there we go.
No, not break, Raf.
Yeah.
Unrapeable.
Oh, that's a bit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those sort of putting that type of label on yourself.
That's a bit.
Yeah, it's not. It's concerning to me.
That's unsavory.
Flag.
Yeah, that's a bit unsavory to say the least. That's.
It sounds like when he's spending time at, well, it's not Her Majesty's pleasure, is it?
No, it's Putin's pleasure.
Yeah, he's getting his own pleasure from the sound.
Yeah, it's a bit disturbing. It's a bit disturbing to say the least. So I'd prefer him though. I'd have him up there if you wanted to take it, because he's a big lump and he's knocking people out. He doesn't have a particularly high punch output, moderate punch output. You seem to fit the purpose. But he's got a big punch, so you seem to fit the purpose. Doesn't throw like the same way Deontay Wilder throws, but not many people do. But it seemed to fit the purpose. If they want to chuck him in there, if he wants it, I wouldn't have any complaints. I wouldn't have any complaints. What's this here? I wouldn't get Miller in as a replacement for someone who's just been busted. I wouldn't get him in either. The business
really, he's not preparation anyway, is he? He's another little short fatty, really. I mean, he's not really short, but by heavyweight boxing standards, he's not long.
No, he ain't long. He certainly ain't long. Certainly ain't long.
6'3" or something.
He's about 6'4". He's about 6'4".
It's difficult to judge how long his actual arms are because he's such a fat mess.
He's such a what?
Fat mess.
Yeah. The Bizzle up in the building. How you doing, Bizzle? Hope you're doing well. And what is this? Reality's Voice. AJ will never risk a show on Big Pharma again. He shouldn't either. After what happened last time. Okay, we got a little bit of back and forth here with the Diary Pennant, a bit of friendly body sparring with the Diary Pennant and Wizard Sleeves. Keep it nice, guys. Keep it nice. Play nice now. Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz. Well, Luis Ortiz is a southpaw, so it's a wrong stance and not really the ideal height. But I mean, every time they've been offered that fight, they've turned it down. Remember, he could have been in the place of Ruiz. but he turned it down. Said he wasn't enough prep time. What an absolute, I don't know, would say imbecile, but I don't want to. Turned it down. How the hell are you going to turn that fight down? That's crazy to me. Some people suspect he might have had some things in his veins, but it hasn't been proven, so I'm not going to say it. How you like them apples? Same reason why some people speculate that Adam Kalinaki turned down the fight, which Ruiz accepted.
I think that was all about they were PBC assets.
PBC assets. They call them assets, then all I can say is OMG.
Well, one was Wilder's only credible win at the time.
Yep. It still is.
Still seen as his best win now.
Yeah.
So they obviously didn't want AJ to do a better job against him. But it was before the rematch as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then they were grooming Kalinaki to pad up Wilder's resume quite a bit more. Possibly trying to maneuver him in as mandatory for Wilder.
I wonder how Kalinaki feels now. I wonder how Luis Ortiz, I wonder how those guys feel now when they missed out on millions for a couple 100,000. Wonder how they feel. I'd really love, probably got a gagging order on them, but I'd really love to know how those guys feel. If they didn't have things in the vein that they shouldn't have done, and they turned it down because they had to turn it down via PBC orders, I really wonder how they feel now. I'd love them to just come out and really just tell the story of why they turned that fight down. It might take some years from now. They'll have to have retired from boxing before we get the true story, but I would love to hear their honest account of why they turned down a king's ransom to fight Joshua for a few 100,000 over there at the PBC. It's crazy to me, man. Crazy. Hunter, why won't he fight Hunter? I'd like to see that fight, but Hunter's the wrong dimensions. Hunter's the wrong dimensions for this fight. They want somebody tall. Hunter's short. He's the exact opposite of what they need. Washington, I never liked the idea first when John Daly brought it up originally. I think he's one of the first people we heard mention that in this context, mention Washington for this particular fight. I've always said that Joshua should have swept up a lot of the guys that Wilder beat. I always said that he should have fought some of them guys and beat them better, but I guess he was constrained by all the titles he had. Didn't really have much time. All of his time was pretty much wrapped up in taking care of his Mandos. That's one of the negatives of having so many belts. But Hunter, yeah, I'd advocate for that. But right now, I'm not so sure. Counter argument is, hey, if you want to save the PPV, they just got to do whatever. But no, I mean, if you work into a strategy, if you're playing chess rather than checkers, then you work into a strategy. You want a tall cat. And like I said, I didn't like the idea of Washington at first, but hey, get Washington in. Forget about the PPV. Just have it as a regular fight. Get Washington in. Maybe.
Hunter been in camp as sparring.
Hunter's been inspiring with Joshua.
So you're not really going to put somebody in you've been sparring for a fight anyway. It stops it from being pay-per-view, in my opinion.
Say that again?
How can you put in your sparring partner for Dillian Whyte as a replacement and call it a pay-per-view?
It's strange.
Well, I don't think you could do it. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? You don't think you could legally do it?
I don't know, not legally. I just don't think you could sell it as an idea because it's known that he's been in camp. It's not like lots of people.
Yeah. I hear that. Yeah. It's can you sell that?
I mean, also, what's Hunter done for? Like, he looked terrible in that random fight he had on that strange platform.
Yeah, he looked terrible. In the fight before.
Has he even been in the ring since then?
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't like Cole Froch. I think it is relatively true that if you want to sell it to the public as a pay-per-view, you probably do need to fight Hrgovic. But that's really dicing with death, really, isn't it?
Well, it's an unnecessary. It's not.
It's a risk.
At the wrong time.
Yeah, exactly. And do you really need to be the IBF mandatory to fight Usyk again?
No.
I mean, I don't know that he'd be better off if he wants to go down any particular route. Go the WBC route, because I'm pretty confident Mauricio Sullivan would order that mandatory because of the amount of money involved.
Well, there you go.
If you're going to do anything, go that route. And there's no mandatory challenger to be announced. The best way to become the mandatory challenger is to beat Wilder.
Yeah.
He's ranked number 1 in the WBC.
He's ranked number 1. Odd, very strange, but nonetheless, that's the case. Reality's voice says even Einstein can be wrong. That cosmological constant was so short-sighted and led to him missing both universe expansions and dark energy. So maybe Wizard really does love big. Well, hey, I didn't know he was going to go there. That was a big wind-up. I didn't know he was going to go there. Anthony Joshua, Frank Sanchez. Yeah, I said if you check out the video, you didn't check out my video, bro. Check out the video. I said that'd be a good fight. The right fight for now. A warm-up for Wilder.
I don't think that's ever a good fight. It's a difficult fight that you get more credit for.
Yeah, difficult fight. It's a difficult fight.
He's got no name. He's not highly ranked. And everybody runs the risk of losing a boring points decision to Frank Sanchez.
For real. Another.
So what? I mean, look, I'm not in favour of avoiding people because they present a challenge.
Yeah.
But Frank Sanchez is unlikely to produce an entertaining fight unless you spark him quickly. And what do you get out of beating him? Nobody knows who he is.
Nobody knows who he is. Nobody knows who he is.
I don't know he's a decent boxer. But the general public haven't got a clue. I mean, look, Wilder's walking around with all these pundits talking about how mad his power is after Hellenius found a comfortable place to lie on the canvas in the first round. I mean, when was the last time Wilder actually devastatingly knocked somebody out? Wasn't it?
It was Ortiz. It was Ortiz.
Ortiz. How many years ago is that?
That was a good, 3-4 years ago now?
And yet they're still trying to sell to us that he's got such amazing power, and yet he couldn't get Fury out of there despite putting him down twice in their last fight. Yeah. Ortiz actually got back up to his feet after that knockout. Brazil got to his feet after that last knockout, but allegedly, if he touches you, you die.
Yeah. And
Hellenius, I'm still suspicious that was a bit of a dive, like the Malik Scott first round KO.
It was weird. It was a weird punch. I reviewed that. I did a video on that. You guys can check that out. I did a video on that. It was a weird punch, that's for sure. Ortiz was already told to duck AJ as Big Pharma's replacement. 0 chance. His rep is all that Wilder has on his record, and that's a shame. That's a shame.
I actually think Staverne's a better win.
Staverne won? Yeah, Staverne won.
But again, that went 12 rounds, didn't it?
That went the whole way. That went the whole way.
He did manage to land this alleged amazing right hand on him quite a few times in that fight.
Yeah, went the whole way. Went the whole way. So what are we saying now? We're coming close to the hour, and Rafi, and I'm sure John Dealey gotta get that beauty sleep. But people are still coming in, so let's go just a little bit longer. Let's talk about Charles. So to wrap that up, hopefully we find out by noon tomorrow who will be the chosen one to face, the one chosen to face Anthony Joshua to save this card. If the new, I'll keep an eye on it. I will be at work, but I'll keep an eye on it. And at lunchtime, if the news has come through by lunchtime, I will make a quick video via phone. Gotta make sure my phone is fully charged or well charged or partially charged, whatever. And I'll bring that to you. Didn't Washington, among others, Polak, Selenius? Yeah, I think I covered it on the show. I covered it. It was a funny fight.
We've already referred to that, Rafi.
We've referred to that, yeah. It's a funny fight because Washington was winning in the beginning, if my memory serves me right. Then Hellenius started to come through, and it looked like Washington was going to be finished. And then out of nowhere, Washington rallied back and poleaxed. Hellenius had his head resting on the rope as the referee waved it off. Poleaxed. Wilder has never beat, never mind KO a non-bump in his life. OMG. Madari Bennett, Joshua versus Ike Ibuchi. Well, I don't know. Is Ike Ibuchi still around? Is he still around?
Is he still alive?
Is he still alive? OMG. Okay, so we've wrapped up that. Let's just give the people a little bonus. Bonus topic, real smooth like and real quick like. I think I'm gonna go live again later on in the week because we got some fight to talk about. Hold on, let me check that. Boxing this weekend. What's going on?
Well, we should have a Joshua fight on Saturday, right?
We should have a Joshua fight on Saturday. And let's just have a look at, well, first of all, let's have a look if there's anything else going on. We got Navarrete versus Valdez, but that's early in the morning. That's 4 a.m. Rafi ain't going to be up for that. What else we got? We got Nishida versus Jimenez. And some lighter guys. That's what, midnight? Yeah, I might be around for that. Might be. What else? Nope. Nothing in UK time. So let's just take a look at the card that should have been or still might be. Let me share my screen with you before we spit out a deuce. Let's bring that up like so, nice and smooth like. So it's Joshua versus TBA. We're talking Wallin. Well, Wallin's a tall guy, but he's a southpaw. I advocated that Joshua fight Wallin in between his Usyk fights. If Joshua improved in the second Usyk fight, which I think most people, if not everybody, will agree he did, statistically fact that he did, then how much better would he have been had he fought a Wallin in the middle after the first fight, before the second fight? But I know there were probably there might have been some contractual issues with that. But anyway, that would have been ideal for me, and I said so at the time. But right about now, fighting a southpaw, prepping for Wilder, I personally not in favor of that. No, I'm not in favor of that. When Fury went life and death with him, it was world number 51. True talk. And I'll put money on it not being Hellenius 1 week after his previous fight. Well, hey, that's interesting though, because you certainly would have to say he's prepped. But the problem is, like we talked about earlier on, Washington knocked Hellenius out. You know what I'm saying? That's problematic to me. But let's have a look at this card.
It didn't really worry Deontay Wilder.
Didn't concern Deontay Wilder one tiny bit. When you're fighting when you're fighting for the PBC, the PBC who make up false narratives, they can make anything seem real to some people. Okay, so it's Hrgovic versus Dempsey McCain. Hrgovic versus Dempsey McCain. That's on the undercard. And then we got Fisher versus Armstrong. What else we got? Yeah, that's the main fights on that card. Hrgovic should take care of McCain. Fisher should take care of Armstrong. I haven't watched the whole load of McCain. The Australian fella. I think that's the Australian flag.
Isn't Dempsey McCain a southpaw as well?
Is he? Let's have a look. Fight info. There's his stance. Oh. Hrgovic McCain rather. Read more. Hrgovic McCain stats. MC McCain will make his way to the ring with an unblemished record of 22 wins and 0 draws, 14 of those by knockout. The stats suggest that Hrgovic has an advantage in power over McCain with an 80% knockout ratio, whereas McCain has a 64% ratio. Okay, so Hrgovic is the younger man by 1 year, 31 years old. Dang. Hrgovic has a 4-inch reach advantage. Philip Hrgovic fights out of the orthodox stance, whilst Dempsey McCain is a southpaw. Hrgovic is the less experienced professional, having had 7 less fights and made his debut in 2017, 2 years and 10 months later than McCain. Okay, so McCain was what, 2015, 2014. Yeah, 2014 when he turned pro. He has fought 47 less professional rounds, 61 to McCain's 108. Philip Hrgovic goes into the fight ranked number 8 by the WBA, 15 by the WBC, 13 by the WBO, and number 1 by the IBF, and number 10 by the Ring Magazine. Dempsey McCain is currently ranked number 14 by the WBO, 13 by the IBF in the 201 pound. What is he? A heavyweight or a light or a cruiserweight? What the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? Okay, so that's a lot of info there, on Hrgovic versus McCain. So where is it? Yeah, that's the big question. Who is TBA? Who's TBA? 0 Point Fighting SP. Who's SP? Who's SP? Is that a brain teaser? Wilder Lanius was horrendous, horrible. Last time there was a pet issue, Mr. TBA beat AJ. OMG. What was that?
He is 1-1 in late replacements because Takam was a late replacement.
Takam was a late replacement too, to be fair. OMG. Okay, so do you think Jamel Charlo's, after he fights Canelo, after he gets beat by Canelo, do you think he's going to come back down to 154 to face Crawford? I'm not sure you answered that question earlier on.
Well, yeah, I do. because he's petitioned the sanctioning bodies to retain his 254-pound titles. I don't know what other fights the PBC can put on pay-per-view that would actually sell for Crawford, whereas that would actually sell. And they've just done respectable numbers in the Spence fight.
Yeah.
And Crawford's riding hot, and why not feed? I think it would be feeding Jamel to him after that sort of weight cut.
Yeah.
After getting a bit of a pound in, having to cut a lot of weight, and been inactive for 18 months. Well, pretty much feeding him to Bud. I think, to be honest, I think Bud could probably beat the best version of him anyway.
For real.
So, Bud can force the fight. I don't know which one. Is it the WBA or WBO?
WBO is gonna strip Jamel as soon as the first bell rings for the Canelo fight.
No. If you move up in weights, it's either the WBO or the WBA will make you automatic Mando. Because that's how Usyk was Joshua's Mando, isn't it?
That would be the WBO then. That would be the
yeah. So because Bud's got all of them, he can force the fight if he wants to.
Boom. That's right.
And it's in the PBC's interest. Like, Bud's probably their best asset.
Right about now.
You count Canelo.
Oh yeah.
But the Benavidez fight would sell, but I don't understand. Are they putting that on in May or not?
Well, that hasn't been confirmed. They're not seriously talking about it.
So, unless that fight is on, I don't really think the Canelo fights are going to sell. I think the Charlo fight will bomb.
Uh-oh.
Well, it's a massive mismatch. Who thinks Charlo can win that fight?
The LDBC. The LDBC think that.
Who notoriously are Team Stream.
Ha.
Anybody they back can't sell for Toffee, can they?
Damn.
You know,
Hold on. Tank Davis was with them.
Yeah, exactly. And he needs an opponent to sell a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
if his name isn't Ryan Garcia, he can't get over 200,000 buys.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's my point with all of those people. They need an opponent. So will Canelo be able to carry it? I mean, probably enough to make money, but they've got to pay Canelo a lot of money.
Yeah. Got to balance
Is it going to do more than 400,000 buys in America? I'd be surprised.
400,000, you say?
Well, that's Canelo's sort of baseline number when he doesn't fight anybody. He tends to do around... When Canelo has a nondescript opponent in America, he tends to bring in 400. And when he fights a better opponent, it's closer to the million.
Yeah, for real.
So, you know, I think the Liam Smith did about 400.
Canelo, Liam Smith, okay.
Yeah. So I can imagine it doing sort of similar numbers to that. Because I mean, however good or bad you think Liam Smith is, he's got absolutely no name in America whatsoever.
It's got to do at least as much as Liam Smith, surely.
Yeah. So that'll do that.
I'm going to say 450,000. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Rafi saying Canelo versus Jamel Charlo does 450,000 pay-per-view buys.
And so unless you put him in with Benavidez, you're not really getting the mega bucks you get out of Canelo. From a really big fight, are you?
For real.
So Crawford versus Charlo. Whilst it might not do any better than 400, you're not paying them anywhere near what you're going to be paying Canelo combined. Like, you know, those guys, you could probably get Crawford in the ring for between 5 and 10 mil, maybe 5.
Yeah.
And I doubt Charlo's ever been paid more than $1 million.
Dang.
Whereas you're not getting Canelo for less than 20, are you?
No.
So on the back of what Bud's just done, I think you could realistically, like, that was 600, wasn't it? He did against.
Was it 700? 650? 700?
Like, good numbers.
It's good numbers.
Class that as good numbers. So
I should have got what, 20 mil for that. 20 mil.
I don't know what the purses were.
I think they're talking about 20 mil. So it's definitely clearly
that's with the upside, isn't it?
That's with the upside.
In terms of guaranteed purse,
yeah,
that's what Canelo gets as a guarantee, isn't it? I'll
yeah.
if he gets any less than that.
Yeah, for real.
So the combined guarantee purses of Bud and Charlo, if they can do 400 with that, it is worth more to the PBC than the Canelo fight, essentially. So I think that the answer to your question, I know I've given a lot of detail, he's positioned the sanctioning bodies to retain his titles. Bud can force himself to be the next mandatory for it, both on PBC, and it's probably worth a good amount of money to the PBC. Because you might as well cash in on Crawford's notoriety now. Because, I mean, it's the most talked about fight in America. There's still people putting stuff out about it constantly in America.
Constantly. So it's a big topic. It's a big topic.
Like the Dillian Whyte thing hasn't really made the news over there.
It hasn't really made a dent. It hasn't really made a dent because they hire what Crawford did, and it was spectacular.
No, I think with that. Well, I've had him as number one pound for pound for a very long time.
Yeah, I've had him pound for pound
because he's been blackballed a little bit.
Yeah,
but now we know why they're blackballed him.
Now the truth has been revealed. The truth has been revealed, and it's not a secret. I wasn't happy with the way the PB. Well, I wasn't happy with the other side of the street talk.
It's not just them, though. It's like Bob wouldn't put him in with Manny Pacquiao, would he?
Nah.
So, you know, if Bob had been smart, he would have fed Manny to Bud in the passing of the torch fight. So everybody's done Crawford dirty because they knew how good he was and they weren't convinced about his popularity.
Yeah. Well, Bob's not the best promoter of fighters sometimes. Now I'm going to check
the types of fighters you mean.
Yeah, certain types of fighters particularly. Now I'm going to check if bookies are setting odds on the TBA. Hey, put a nice fat bet on, and if it works out, you know where the super chat button is.
And if you bet on Washington, you definitely need to give Rafi a super chat.
Hey, come on now. You know, it's only right. But you know what? John? I think we've done it. You've got Canelo beating Jamel. What methods? What means? By KO.
Between 7 and 9.
Between the 7.
Canelo grinds his knockouts. He's not really a one-punch knockout artist. He's a body puncher. It's cumulative.
Yes.
And, he gets people out through damage rather than concussive puncher.
Yes, indeed. That TBA chap gets about, always busy. Hey, you know, he always appears to be red day. Okay, John. We've done overtime. It's good of you to join me. You got any final words for the people?
Thanks for having me on, Raf. And I think you've given them more than they deserve today. You've really fed them.
More. You know, that's how we do over here. That's how we do over here. The RDCR. Getting that working, giving the people value for money. Yes. What is there left for me to say? It's late over here in the UK. Live broadcast coming from Dawkins Towers. Talked about a lot, chatted up a lot. And of course, we're waiting to see. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's Anthony Joshua going to fight on Saturday? If the announcement is made tomorrow morning, you can be sure that the Raphael Dawkins are going to bring you that news by midday tomorrow. Midday Tuesday. What's going on here? Canelo will ice Charlo. Looking forward to those advisors, fanboys, tears. OMG. Anthony Joshua. OMG. You're going to have to wait and see what's going down. But right about now, it's late over here in Middle Earth. They're giving you more than enough. You got more than your money's worth. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Hit all of the good buttons. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe. It's the I think we need to go. Maybe we need to do another live show this week before the hopeful fight on Saturday. But anyway, it's Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio. Thank you to John D. Lee for jumping in. And you got some nice boxing talk there. Cleared up some misnomers. Anybody look that up? No? Okay. We cleared up some misnomers, some inaccuracies. Put you straight. Number of things. Great show to both. Help me consume a nice bottle of Chianti with some favorite beats. Father beats. OMG Marveloso. And that was from Reality's Voice and from the town. It's the latest, Rafi. It's the latest to you, town. The latest to everybody. The only thing left for me to say is blessed.